And now, the best 60-ish seconds of your week.
It's Labor Day weekend, the unofficial end of summer, and a real opportunity for all Americans to celebrate the great achievements of American working men and women who have contributed so much to this great nation, both economically and sociologically. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But I've tried really hard through the years not to make the best 60 seconds about me. When I was running for office, we didn't mention it, but I really feel compelled to say one thing about something that occurred last week, namely my resignation as vice chairman of the American Conservative Union and CPAC, an organization to which I've given countless years and hours of my time, talent, and treasure because I love the organization so much and felt so deeply about its core mission. Long before I joined the board, I was helping to organize CPACs. I served under 3 different chairmen, going back to Dave Keene, who did such a fabulous job for so many years running that organization and building up CPAC as the premier gathering place for conservatives. But sadly, things have not gone well inside CPAC for a long period of time. Many of the problems predated the sexual battery charges against Matt Schlapp for allegedly groping a male staffer to Herschel Walker during that campaign. Those problems continue to unfold and unravel. I've called for an independent investigation. I mean, any corporation, profit or nonprofit, would do that if its CEO or chairman was alleged to have done these things. We didn't. And I've also called for, in the wake of Bob Beaupre, former congressman from Colorado, our treasurer, his resignation and some of the red flags that he raised, I've called for an independent forensic audit of the organization's finances. Those things still need to be done. Folks there can push back and say, you know, Beaupre's bad, Giroux's bad, this and that, but the underlying fact remains that the problems haven't been resolved, and they really need to be, because CPAC needs to be the leading organization in the vanguard for the fight for our conservative values. It was a real honor and a privilege to serve for so many years on the board and as vice chairman of CPAC. I'm going to miss it, I really am, but I did the right thing. It was the only thing to do. And as my old dad used to tell me, if you do the right thing, the right people will be with you. And we celebrate Labor Day this weekend, and again, a little sadly for me and those who love summer, the unofficial end of summer. Labor Day began at the turn of the 20th century. The American Labor Councils pushed very hard for a day dedicated to American labor. Oregon, the first state to actually make it an official holiday in 1887. Just a couple of years later, in 1894, the Congress of the United States made it official, and Grover Cleveland put his signature to it. At that point, over half the states in the Union had already adopted state-based Labor Day. So it has a great history, and today is as important as ever as we celebrate the tremendous achievements of American working men and women who have done so much for this country's economy and for us as a society. And I think it's interesting to note that under President Trump and the Trump administration, something really began to coalesce politically, a new coalition that our partner and friend Ed Rollins and I talked about 45 years ago, namely bringing American working men and women into the Republican Party. Traditionally, they had been Democrats, but the Republican Party really stood for their values and their future. And more you're seeing that as the men and women who make things and deliver things vote Republican, register Republican, and are increasingly expressing conservative values because they know that that 4-letter word is what it's really all about. J-O-B-S. And 5,400, that is apparently the number of emails that Joe Biden sent out under pseudonyms, all these various fake names that he used to cover up the messages that he was sending about his son Hunter's activities. More and more, the corruption of the Biden family is coming to the fore. We can't indict a sitting president, but the indictments against Hunter Biden need to come and come quickly, and the case against Joe Biden himself needs to be made in full public view, and I believe that's going to happen. Congressman Comer and others are going to take this to the hearing floor of the U.S. House, and we're going to have an opportunity to get a full vetting of all that went on. And I'm fearful that it's going to be more troubling than any of us really expect, because the corruption, the bribery, the selling of influence, and all that has apparently gone on really is completely contrary to what we are about as Americans. And as the days of summer wane, the boys of summer continue to play, and my beloved Philadelphia Phillies set a franchise record and the third highest number in the history of the game, home runs in the month of August, 59 to be exact, and roll into September with a significant lead for the #1 spot amongst the wild card contenders. I don't think anybody's going to catch the Atlanta Braves, but that may not matter. And of course, the NFL gets underway next week, and we're all looking forward to that. College football season has already begun. High schools are playing on Friday night. It's a glorious time of year, and although we're sad to see summer go, fall has its own blessings, and we're all looking forward to each one of them, because for now, that is the best 60-ish seconds of your week.